Welcome to Investors.com's 20 Rules for Investment Success. These rules aren't based on personal opinion. Instead, they're based on studies of the most successful stocks from 1880 to 2005. We analyzed their common traits before their biggest price advances, and we looked at how these factors changed when these stocks topped and began falling. So these rules represent how the market actually works. If all 20 fact-based rules are carefully followed, not just the ones you like, your investment results can materially improve. Let's take a look at rule number 1. Look for stocks that have a 3-year earnings growth rate of 25% or more. Also watch for return on equity of 17% and recent earnings and sales acceleration. The stock market rewards growth, so be on the lookout for companies with a strong record of earnings and a high return on equity. These are the ones often primed for big price moves. Focusing on this kind of strength helps you separate potential winners from the also-rans. There are nearly 10,000 publicly traded companies, and they aren't all equal in terms of their leadership traits. Why is it so important to look at a 3-year earnings history? One great quarter isn't enough. You want a stock to prove itself before you invest your money. So don't worry that you'll be late to the party if you wait for a stock to show longer-term strength. Our research shows that many of the leading growth stocks boasted a strong 3-year earnings growth rate, high return on equity, and accelerating sales. Here's an example. International Securities Exchange was a market leader in the fall of 2006. The stock had a 3-year growth rate of 28%, a return on equity of 27.3%, and sales had accelerated the past 2 quarters. That's just an example of the kind of stock you want to be focusing on. Let's take a look at rule number 2. Recent quarterly earnings and sales should be up 25% or more. In addition to a strong record of annual earnings growth, most of the biggest winners also had huge increases in quarterly earnings. And the biggest winners didn't just have terrific earnings growth, but also strong sales. In fact, strong earnings growth should always be accompanied by sales that are up at least 25% from the same quarter a year earlier. Here's an example from September 2006. Gilead Sciences had quarterly earnings that grew 49%, while its sales were up 38%. Stocks with this kind of quarterly growth are often among the market's biggest price gainers. Next up in our 20 Rules series, rule number 3. Avoid cheap stocks.